We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it. Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. My name is Jack and today I'm joined by a Russian spy. It's Chris.
Greetings, comrade. Oh, that's a terrible Russian accent.
The worst
I can do a better one. Hang on, wait. Greetings, comrade.
No,
I come
that's
from
even worse
Mother
than the first one.
Russia. Is it? I can normally do quite a good one. I speak in a Russian accent most of the time when I'm home alone, and it just comes naturally, and it's quite nice. But why are you looking at me like that for?
Several things. You speak to yourself at home.
Everyone
on your
does.
own.
Everyone does. Guaranteed.
In a Russian accent.
Yes. I get up and look in the mirror. I go, welcome, comrade, to Mother Russia. Vladimir Putin.
Okay. Wow.
I know, it's pretty epic. But hi, everybody.
Epic, not the word I would use. Man from U.N.C.L.E. is a film.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Which is based on was it short story? Or
It
short?
was also a TV series between 1964 and 1968. It starred people. I don't know if it bears any resemblance to the film.
Oh, I didn't know it was a TV series. I knew it was a book because it says at the beginning of the film, based on this book.
Well done for reading the opening
I know, I'm
credits.
so happy.
Good. It's a Guy Ritchie film, the same guy that did Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.,
Jude Law.
Snatch, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. All that stuff. And it's got Superman in it and Armie Hammer.
Superman being Henry Cavill, of course, not Christopher Reeves, because, he kind of passed away.
Way to bring down the mood, man.
I wasn't bringing down the mood, I was just
You're
in case
killing the
people get
buzz.
confused. I'm clearing it, I'm making this very, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, clear, yeah.
Well, okay, you did make that clear.
I know, I
very
did.
well done. Let's talk about the film rather than past Superman.
Past Superman actors.
I like this film
He liked
a
it, everybody!
lot because the last film I saw was Fantastic Four.
Oh, let's not get into
That
that.
made
right?
me question everything that we're doing with this podcast and whether it would be worth continuing if films were going to be at Fantastic Four level forever.
Yeah.
But this has restored my faith in filmage and talking about films.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I liked it as well. Everything just went very nicely in it, didn't it?
Things happened in it, which is good. That's what you want in a film. You don't want things not to happen. Fantastic Four.
Wow.
Things
Stop
happened.
comparing it to Fantastic
The
Four.
dialogue was interesting. They weren't just sitting around spinning on chairs and going, yeah, some science. There was banter. There was chemistry between them. Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer and the whole gang. They looked like they were having fun.
Also, their names kick ass. Specifically, Henry Cavill's character. His name's Napoleon Solo. What a name!
That's a good name.
That's a beautiful
That
name.
is.
Armie Hammer playing the KGB agent Ilya.
Yep.
And then we have got. Is it? I thought it was Abby, but I think I was saying Gabby.
It's Gabby.
It is
yeah,
Gabby.
She is played by.
Oh, he's just looking for his
No, the
notes
first,
here.
I've got the name.
Yeah.
Alicia Vikander. I'm so bad with names.
Alright.
But she's good in it, and she is a really strong female character in it because she beats up a Russian guy.
Does she? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, my God. Yeah,
yeah.
that one scene. That was a trained KGB agent, nonetheless.
He probably let her win because
Yeah, I reckon he could have.
Because early on in the film, that Russian guy could have destroyed Henry Cavill. In the bathroom,
he did destroy him. He had him. He had him.
could've-
He had him beat, and that was done. And then his superior comes in, says something in Russian, and he lets him go.
Yeah.
He probably said,
And the American guy is just having a pee.
yeah,
He's
that
just washing
was
his
good.
hands. He's like, oh, okay.
What age was this film? I didn't look at the age.
It was 12A.
Was it really? Oh, okay. And then we've also got Hugh Grant.
Who turns up midway through to do a Hugh Granty thing.
Obviously, he normally appears in these rom-coms and that. So it was refreshing to see him in, a spy film, basically. It was nice to see him in that.
Well, we've seen something like that earlier this year. Did you catch Kingsman?
I didn't watch it,
That had,
but I wanted to see it. I never got around to watching it. It looked good. Have you seen
that
it?
had Hugh Grant's love rival from Bridget Jones's Diary. What's his name?
I don't know. I've never seen Bridget.
Neither
Jones's
have I.
Diary.
Why did you bring up Bridget Jones' Diary?
His eyes have gone all wide. He's panicking. His breathing's got heavier. I don't know.
But that had that guy in it, who you
Okay.
wouldn't expect in that. It's Colin something.
Farrell. But then I wouldn't expect him to be in rom-coms. He's normally in
No, Colin.
other type of films.
Never mind.
Never
Well,
mind. Well, we've
rom-coms
gone
aren't
off
our
topic.
thing. We
No.
strayed into dangerous territory.
That's
there.
dangerous, yeah. You know, technically, Shaun of the Dead is classed as a romantic comedy with zombies. So, I mean, there's quite a few deaths in that. So we could perhaps survive a rom-com.
No.
Okay,
I
never
don't
mind
think
then.
I'd make it through the opening credits of a rom-com.
Oh, fine.
Oh.
Alright, there's something else I was going to say. No, I forgot. There's something about another actor I was going to say. I can't remember what. Doesn't matter. Continue with what we was talking about.
We were talking about rom-coms, so can we not...
No, let's not
Can
continue
we
rom-coms.
backtrack onto
Rewind and jump over to something else. Oh,
yeah, everyone in it's good. Guy Ritchie's style is good, although some of he's known for like doing twists and withholding little bits from the audience, and then something happens and he goes back to it. Some of those were a bit weaker than his other films, but they were still good.
When I'm guessing like when Gabby tells, we should probably do spoilers. Yeah, obviously there's gonna be spoilers. We should stop giving these warnings out. You should expect spoilers now.
Unless this is the first one you're listening to.
Then stop. Go to YouTube. Find us at We Could Survive That. Go back to episode 1. Anticipated movie deaths of 2015.
I don't think we covered Man from U.N.C.L.E. in that.
No, because we didn't know anything about Man from U.N.C.L.E. But
No.
start there, then work your way forward. So you're talking about the scenes, for example, where Gabby betrays. I've done a little. What are they called?
I can see that.
Hand
people
gestures.
can't.
Nobody else
Yeah.
can't. The two agents and tells them what's happening. She's actually acting under orders from Hugh Grant's British Navy commander guy.
Yeah. I think that Hugh Grant thing, that he's working for the British Secret Service, is meant to be one of those twists, but Hugh Grant is the most British person in the world. Maybe if they'd gotten someone that was less recognisable, that twist would have worked a bit better. But
Did you see him checking in at the hotel?
yes, I've got that. I thought
Yeah.
that was either him or someone that had a remarkable
It was him.
back that looked like
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I think they cut out a scene.
No, the scene I saw when
No, yeah, but I think that scene was in there to set up maybe another scene,
which they then removed.
But yeah,
Ah, right. Okay, back to my original point when you're saying about when Gabby betrays the agents and then she's been watched by Ilya, who's then chased off by guard dogs and stuff. And
the dogs with bees in their mouth, so when they bark, bees come out.
What?
It's a line from The Simpsons.
right, okay.
They don't really have bees in their mouth.
I should think so. That's dangerous, wouldn't it?
I know, especially if the dog goes into anaphylactic shock from bee
Dom,
stings.
dom. I'm trying to say this scene for like the third time now. Basically, she goes to say something. It then cuts to Ilya's character. His face goes shocked. It goes back to the people. Somebody says he needs to make a phone call. It goes back to Ilya, who's up and running. And then a couple of scenes later, it then jumps back and shows the bits it missed out.
Yes.
That's what he's talking about. I didn't know Guy Ritchie did that in all his films.
Well, he does that in most of them. That's how he like gets his twists and stuff.
Oh, fair enough. I
Yeah.
quite liked them. I thought they were good.
Hmm. Have you seen many Guy Ritchie films?
Probably. I just weren't aware that Guy Ritchie was in them. Does Guy Ritchie direct a lot of his films and star in them?
No, he just directs.
I'm thinking of Guy Pearce.
Well, that was
Who's the one that was married
crosswise.
to Madonna? Was that Guy Pearce?
That's Guy Ritchie. This
Oh,
is this
what?
guy
Oh.
that we're talking about.
Right, okay. I thought Guy Ritchie starred in these films. Forget it.
No,
My bad. Okay.
just out of curiosity, did you think Henry Cavill was Guy Ritchie?
No, I didn't. I liked the beginning scene when he goes to East. Is it East Germany?
One of the Germans.
Yeah. Well, this is during the 60s when the Berlin Wall was standing. So I believe it's East Germany he goes to. It shows him going through all the checkpoint and stuff, etc., going free to meet Gabby, who's a mechanic. They're then pursued by Ilya, the
Russian guy, yeah.
KGB agent. And when he meets her, and then Ilya actually comes along, and they have a big chase through Berlin, which ends in them going from the east to the west side, and leaving Ilya in the middle on this minefield. Which all the points he could have dropped down on, he didn't drop down on any mines.
Yes, he
So,
got very lucky.
he was
in that
very
part.
lucky in
That
that.
whole beginning chase was very lucky because they would have had to put Henry Cavill with someone else if he'd killed Ilya at any of those points during the whole car chase.
The best bit was when they're in the car driving away, and Ilya's running behind it, and he's got hold of it, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Why don't you shoot him?" He's like, Just doesn't seem right.
No, and that's very sporting of him, because if Ilya was in that same position, I don't think he'd have been as noble.
He would have shot.
He would have just shot him.
straight away. He rips off the back of the guy. He rips off the boot
throws
door
it.
and throws it. You throw it, and then you don't see it, and you think, oh, it's gone off to the side. And then it smashes down just behind the car, which means at some point...
He got some height on there.
Yeah,
he probably
he got-
took out a bird or a
I know, he
satellite
was
or something.
scarily strong. I love the scene after that when Henry's talking to his heroes about it, and he's like, you should have seen this thing running after me.
Yeah, he just
Doesn't
keeps
say
referring to him as a thing.
Yeah, thing or it, because it's like a machine. But I love that entire chase scene. I thought I loved it. It was brilliant. I like the entire film. Watch it or not watch it, go watch it. 100% watch the film.
Give this your money rather than Fantastic Four. Please. Please. Have you heard that Deadpool 2 has taken over the slot for Fantastic Four 2? Because Fox...
They've not released
I know!
Deadpool yet.
I know, they'd not even released they'd not even released a trailer before they'd confirmed a Fantastic Four 2. At the
Does
moment,
that mean
it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
F42's been cancelled?
Cancelled or pushed back until they can decide what to do with it, or until they have to get the rights back again.
But DP2 is in there.
Possibly. It depends on how well... But the trailer looks good.
The
so,
trailer
yeah.
looks good. So yeah, but then the trailer looked goodish for Fantastic Four, didn't it?
No.
Why?
It looks sad and depressing. And the film was sad and depressing.
Why did you drag me to see the film then?
You are a lying bastard.
That I may be, sir, but I was trained by KGB. Oh God, why can't I do the accent anymore?
Even Armie Hammer can do a Russian accent.
Yeah, I know. Armie Hammer being an American, Henry Cavill who was playing an American is actually English.
And he's British, yeah.
So lovely. Yeah. So watch or not watch?
I would agree. Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring about the film? Any points in particular? I like the villains.
Yeah, but I think they lack motivation. They wanted a bomb, yeah, but what were they going to use it for? What were their dreams, their hopes and their desires? What did they hope to achieve by having a big bomb?
Well, they've got the bomb, haven't they? They also got the data to make continuous bombs, so it would be quite easy. You've got the Americans...
Would they sell it? Are they going to
yes,
use it?
No, they would have sold
happening?
it, because the Americans and Russians are in an arms race, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Cold War's going on at this point, right?
But surely...
They would have sold it to either the Americans or the Russians, I reckon.
Yeah, but surely a whole country has got more finance and research capabilities to build these things than this.
Yeah, but
it was
the
a
main
fairly
point of it.
small organisation, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the main point of it, building the bomb was no problem. It was doing something with the uranium. I can't remember what they said now. It was to do with the uranium, what they were having difficulties with.
No, they were trying to radiate the uranium.
That's what they're having difficulties with.
So they were just building bombs, but they were building them quicker than the Americans and Russians were doing. I think that's the general plot, but they weren't very clear on what they planned to do with it.
No,
after they'd built it.
Maybe that's something that's going to lead into Man from U.N.C.L.E. 2 if they make that.
Well, there was a mention of a larger organisation that Victoria worked for. It's featured in the TV series, and would you like to know what the...
Is it called Spectre?
No, it's not called Spectre. It's called Thrush.
Yeah, okay.
And it stands for Technological Hierarchy for the removal of undesirables and the subjugation of humanity. So a lovely organisation.
What a name!
Thrush. Named after a rash.
Yeah,
that might be in a future movie.
Because at the end of the film, it shows them standing there, doesn't it? Just before you got Hugh Grant's character turn up saying, "I'm putting you all together as a task force, calling it Uncle, blah blah blah." They're having their drinks, and you can see smoke coming off of the table. And my thought was, oh, have they burnt this? Because basically they had this disc that had information on how to was it radiate the uranium? To make the bombs, basically. And both governments, the Americans and Russians, wanted it, and both gave permission to their agents to kill the other if necessary to take it. So I thought at first they'd burnt the disc because they weren't going to fight each other for it. But then when it shows the table, the disc is still there. Doesn't it show them burning it?
No, it was the film inside the disc. They didn't have like CD-ROMs and stuff. It would be held on, film reels, old school film reels. It would be like one of them. So that's what they burnt. They took out the reel and put that in there. So that's the important thing. The disc around it was just a cover. So you could damage that by just licking it, because those things are really fragile.
I didn't even clock that's what they were burning. I just saw something burning, and do you know what? For some reason, I thought it was tobacco.
Well, it wasn't an ashtray.
I had a funny moment in the cinema then. I don't know
You
what
have
it was.
funny moments all the time.
Right. Oh, because I was going to say maybe if they. Oh, hang on. There was 2 copies of that.
Yeah, the other one blew up
Oh.
with the bad lady.
All right. Fair enough then. All right.
Are you saying they could have shared it?
I thought
if
no. I
they'd
thought that was going to lead
had
into
one
like
each?
the Man from U.N.C.L.E. 2.
No, that got blown to her.
Okay, it'll be something different then. I reckon they will make a second one. The film was very good. I can't see them not making a second one, to be honest.
Because there's scripts in development and stuff for a third Sherlock Holmes film, and I'd assume that Guy Ritchie would want to finish that off if he wanted to complete the trilogy. So would he have time for a second Man from U.N.C.L.E? Would you like
Yeah, I want
a sequel to this or another?
No, I prefer
Sherlock.
I would prefer another Man from U.N.C.L.E. film
Okay.
as opposed to another Sherlock film. I like Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock and Jude Law as Watson. I like those Sherlock films. I just preferred Man from U.N.C.L.E. I really enjoyed it. So I would like to see a second Man from U.N.C.L.E. as opposed to third Sherlock film. There were deaths in this film. If you're done with
people died in a spy film.
Yeah, not until sort of the last half hour of the film though.
Well, the first bit was like building it up. And
Yeah.
it was proper spy things, so like infiltrating parties and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
wasn't-
bugging people,
Yeah.
and espionage,
Ooh,
and
that was good.
banter. Lots of
Espionage.
banter.
That's a good word. I like that
So,
word. Espionage. It worked. The way they done it worked. It was nice.
Take Notes, Fantastic Four.
Do you think the actors are like listening to this thinking?
No,
Well, you can't really blame
if
the
they do-
actors, can you? It's the writers.
Yes, bloody
So.
actors.
If there's no more points you've got to make about the film, do you want to dive in?
We'll talk about the deaths, and if anything pops up, I will
Yeah,
blurt
we'll go
it
from
out, especially if it's related to rom-coms, because I love rom-coms.
I know you do. You keep trying to make me watch them.
Yeah.
Non-bloody stop.
Alright, first deaths come when Armie Hammer and Superman rock up and they try to infiltrate. It's like a factory that's owned by the big
Satellite
bad.
factory.
Yeah, that's owned by the big bad Victoria and her husband. So they meet up outside. I like this bit. They're cutting through the fence. They meet up outside the fence. Henry Cavill goes, I'll cut this fence and we'll go through it. And these set of pliers were laser hardened. Ilya goes, pulls out a laser and cuts the fence.
That was good. I like that. I like the little gadgets and stuff they had in there. That was a real nice touch.
And they had skills that complemented each other, because Henry Cavill's character was a criminal, and he's a lot faster at picking locks and things than
He's 100 times better than Ilya.
Armie Hammer's character, even though he had like a more sophisticated lock picking gadget. He had like an earpiece so he could hear the tumblers in the locks going.
Henry Cavill had what appeared to be just a paperclip or something.
Yeah, and he was just doing it with that. So it's a nice contrast of skills, and Armie Hammer's character could have killed Henry Cavill whenever he wanted to. Like in the bathroom scene or at the end or just whenever, because
that's it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, most of the brutality comes from Armie Hammer's
They
character.
explained that with him having a bit of a because it was quite interesting at the end when they were doing the credits. They had they gave like character profiles, didn't they? And on there it said about so it's made quite clear in the film that
he does have a
his
tick, and if you push his buttons, like your mama jokes, which
he has.
There was basically a long version of a your mama joke,
yeah, he's,
and that sets him off as well.
And he's quite a violent character in those regards. But
they break in, they go down to a vault. Henry Cavill's like, this version doesn't have an alarm. Opens it, alarm goes off. They're discovered. They run away, and an unnamed security guy gets shot by. I think it's Ilya that shoots him.
You have to refresh me because I can't even remember the guy being shot.
He's just in the background. He's on a balcony. Ilya runs. He's up there. He shoots him. Guy dies.
Do you know what I was thinking during that scene? Star Wars. Loads of bad guys with guns that they've got rapid fire guns. All of them miss. They don't.
You're thinking Stormtrooper.
Yeah,
bad
missing
aim.
all their shots.
Well, all bad guys have pretty
bad
poor
aim.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they didn't even graze them. I liked how they got out of the building. He sees a reflection of water in the glass, thinks the water's straight underneath. He shoots the window, then jumps out and hits and then he
hits
jumps
a
out.
pier and
But
hits the wall.
You don't realise
Yeah.
he's hit a pier though. So
Until
Henry
Henry
Cavill jumps
Cavill
out
runs.
and crashes down his pier.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I thought that was brilliant.
I know they would have at least broken an arm or something from a fall like that.
He landed on rope. There's quite a big coil of rope underneath him.
Still,
It would have cushioned the blow to
busting
an
it
extent.
not that much. Only his top half lands on rope.
Well, the jump didn't. Well, it wasn't the height
Pop a
wasn't that
kneecap
big.
or something.
The height wasn't that big. Or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So there's one security guard, the lone security guard who was surrounded by quite a lot of security guards, gets shot. I think it was by Ilya.
Yeah.
Does he even die from the shot?
Well, he doesn't get back up. That we see.
I could shoot
And
you
that
in
guy
the.
probably had a family.
I could shoot you in the knee. You wouldn't get back up. It doesn't necessarily mean you're dead.
It would hurt, and you'd hear him go, "Oh God, my knee! Why did you shoot me in the knee?" But he doesn't say that.
All right, fair enough.
Or
he's
a
dead.
Russian equivalent. No, they were in Italy. Or an Italian equivalent.
Okay, yeah, right. He's probably dead. Right. Do you want to take this one
Nasty
first?
Ilya.
Bad Ilya. Come on.
Throw a grenade. He's a security guard. Issue grenades to all security guards. I don't think that's overreacting, is it?
Probably not, actually, considering they're going to be guarding.
And they're bad guys. They're working
guarding.
for bad guys, and they know
How
about...
do they know they're working for bad guys?
Well, that guy, that Ilya does the... I don't know what it's called,
The
but
kiss.
it's basically a Vulcan...
He calls it the kiss.
And it freezes him. So he was going into a cabinet or a locker that had a secret button into the secret vault bit. So he knew where that was. So the other security guys must have known
Right, fair
where
enough.
that was as well. So
they
they know that they're being evil. They might not know that they're helping build a nuclear bomb, but they know something's up.
All they know is there's something valuable in a safe that they have to protect. If they don't know what's in there or what it's being used for...
Drugs. You should at least assume it's drugs.
Yeah, alright, okay.
If you're a security guard and you suspect someone of hoarding a nuclear bomb, call the police. Because the Russians will get you.
Yeah. I quite like when he does what he calls the kiss. Basically, he's behind a guard, and it's quite funny. He's standing there, and he does like practice shots.
He limbers up.
And then he slaps the guy on the ear.
Well, it's like on the neck thing, and it stuns him and knocks him out.
Oh,
and
I
he's
thought he
still
sort of
standing.
done it across the ear. I was
How
only
would
going
slapping
I was only
pinning them
gonna say-
on the ear knock them out?
I was only going to say, because in one of the Sherlock Holmes films that Guy Ritchie done, Sherlock does a move where he's fighting a guy, doesn't he? And he slaps both his ears to disorientate him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't knock him out. It just makes his head
Yeah,
ring.
I know, but whether that was anything to do with, like, just a...
He'd have a terrible headache with that man that Sherlock discombobulated.
Yeah. How would you survive it then?
Have a grenade.
Oh, so
We've been through that. Don't
you'd throw a
overreact.
grenade at the two agents who are running, so they wouldn't be near it, and who could possibly pick
Well,
up and
he's got
throw
the
it
high
back.
ground, so he could just throw it over, hits the runway that they're on, and it blows up. Or have a flamethrower. I know
A
flamethrowers.
flamethrower?
I know flamethrowers are banned by the Geneva Convention. I stand by the fact that all security guards should have flamethrowers.
Right.
When I come to power, that's the first thing
I
I do.
look forward to that day.
That way, no shit goes down without the heat being turned up.
Oh, God.
And bouncers give flamethrowers to ban. In fact, no.
No.
Flamethrowers for everyone.
No, because bouncers normally look after clubs and stuff. There's alcohol around all those things. There's people
Exactly.
spilling their drinks everywhere. There's flammable
Yeah.
liquid all around, and you want to give them flamethrowers? Brilliant. Let's do it. Were there other people up on this balcony where the guy was shot? There was others, weren't there?
No, there was one guy up top, and then I think they showed 2 or 3 chasing them, but they were being held off and couldn't get onto the runway because they were being shot at and they were taking cover. I think that guy must have been up in the break room, and then he heard all this shit go down. Finish your coffee. You're on a break.
Yeah, don't worry
Stay-
about it, man.
stay there.
there, right?
Relax.
Yeah, that's cool, man. If I'm on a break at work and an alarm goes off, I
You
don't
stay
rush to
there.
it. I stay in the break room.
You
I deal
stay
with
there. Exactly.
it. Okay, what
So
would I
that's
have done?
that's fairly
Oh,
good.
I know what I would have done. I'd have actually hit the people with my machine gun. The
Oh,
gun,
you would've-
the
you
gun
would've-
that's actually firing bullets rapidly. Okay, I would have actually hit one of them, maybe even both of them if I'd felt like it, and maybe have killed them. I would have done my job. I would have been down the shooting
As an
range.
evil henchman.
Yeah.
You'd want a promotion from evil henchman number 1 to evil henchman number 2.
You're damn right.
Exactly. That's commitment to your job right there. Maybe even get a pay raise. That's what you want, isn't it, as a evil henchman?
Yeah, I would be down the shooting range. I would clog my 20 hours a week or whatever. I don't know. I'd spend a lot of time in a shooting range because I'd know instantly if I sign up to be a bad guy or a henchman, I'm gonna be in. Oh no, I'll be a crap shot.
You want job
so you want the
satisfaction.
training. Yeah, I'm gonna blow their brains out. So I would have done my job and actually, shot them.
Put in some effort.
Yeah,
Exactly.
something so lazy with goddamn shooting.
I know, they're not good.
Nope.
Yeah, so they escape through diving out the window, like you said, and they get on a boat.
That is a great scene as well.
They're pinned in by these harbour doors that close, so they're stuck in this little bay bit, and they're being chased almost Lenny Henry, not Benny Hill style.
So you're gonna do the music.
It just goes zoom, zoom. Next scene, it cuts back and they go in the other way. I was expecting them Scooby-Doo style to have a corridor full of doors, and then for them to go in and out, just like that. Henry Cavill manages to jump on the boat, but is quickly thrown off because he's just on the back and he slips off and falls into the water. Swims to land.
Yeah, the bad guys ignore him and continue chasing.
Yeah,
Ilya,
I don't think they really notice him. They want
the Russian.
They want the
who
Russian.
shot
Yeah,
their friend.
yeah, exactly.
Their colleague.
They want vengeance.
Yeah.
Henry goes on to dry land, gets in a truck, eats a man's lunch for some reason that was there. That was his lunch.
It's probably someone who's about to start a night shift in about half an hour's time.
Yeah,
and he's back.
Or go on a romantic picnic or something.
It was the middle of the night.
No, but like for tomorrow.
Why would you put fresh food into
a surprise?
basket?
Why would you have a picnic basket in there?
Because he's
Why
about
would
to
he
start
keep
work.
his keys in the sunroof? Or no, in the visor?
Because that happens in all films. Everybody knows if you've just broken into a car,
How
you need
would
spare
he get
keys.
into the car if his keys are in the car and he'd locked the door? So he's left his truck unlocked
No.
over a night time.
You even said this earlier. Henry Cavill's character is a master thief.
They didn't show him picking the lock though.
It was heavily implied, is how I took it. Whoa,
But he
oh my
ate
God.
that man's
You look so
lunch.
angry then.
Yeah, he
Eats
ate
his
that
lunch,
man's lunch.
drinks his bottle of wine while watching.
and then crashes his truck.
Yeah, what?
Henry
That
Cavill,
sucks.
he has a crisis of conscience. He's about to drive off and leave the Russian guy, but he sees his boat's gone up in flames, so he goes, fine, I'll go back and help him. Drives off the pier, lands on the bad guy's boats, sinks down, turns the headlights on, spots Armie Hammer, opens the window, swims out and saves him. The bad guys, I don't think, die. They're not squashed by the van because they're off swimming somewhere else.
I would have made sure to kill them.
Squish them with that.
Like, as it was sinking, I like that as well. As his truck was sinking, he's like, does the window up, and he's sinking just so he's got enough time to see where Armie is before he then undoes the window.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene. That was a good scene. All the scenes were nicely done.
They all had a visual style and they were all full of colour and stuff. It was good.
It was
and wasn't
good
dull.
film.
Fantastic Four 2015.
Are you done?
Fuck Fantastic Four.
Alright, next death, please.
Yeah. Uncle Rudy. So this I'll explain the plot a bit so we can understand Uncle Rudy. Gabby is the daughter of a nuclear scientist who has been missing in action and is in the custody of the bad guys.
He was a Nazi scientist who was forced to work for Hitler and the Nazis, designing these
before
nuclear weapons.
defecting and then going back. But
Yeah.
he gets captured by the bad guys. So Gabby goes to Uncle Rudy, who she thinks might know where her dad is. They have a talk. Turns out Uncle Rudy's not very nice.
No.
Turns out Uncle Rudy also used to work for the Nazis, but kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, he was
a torturer, basically.
but he really liked it, didn't he?
He's got a whole photo album
yeah,
of
dedicated
all of his
to each
work.
of his victims.
Yeah.
That was quite a good scene. I liked it when he had the lights and he turned all the others off, then he had that one swinging, turned it on,
Spinning
swinging around.
yeah.
I like the music that went with it, and then him telling his story. It was all very sinister.
I think
nice.
that was a fear tactic in him. So like, oh look, these are all the things that I've done. These are all the techniques. This is my resume for torturing you. He's talking very calmly. He's like, yeah, and that's like a mental aspect of the torture.
It is, but
of things to come. So this all happens because Gabby is told by very British man Hugh Grant to betray them. Henry's locked up in an electric chair. Armie Hammer has managed to escape and manages to track Henry down from a tracker that he'd put in his shoe. But Henry missed because there's a whole thing where they go around picking
he
out
smothered
each other's
his clothes
tracking
and dragging
things.
it.
Yeah.
Again, that was another good
That's
scene.
a good bit.
That was good.
And it shows that they're on equal ground with just about everything.
Yeah.
Because during that chase at the beginning, Armie Hammer is one step away each time. And yeah, they think alike.
That's it. Every time one of them one-ups, the other one will one-up
It's one of
them.
our favourite things when we talk about movies. It's a cock measuring competition.
Yeah, but this was
a feature-length cock measuring
and
competition.
it was done good. It was done nicely.
Yes.
It was done.
Who do you think came out on top?
Oh,
I
don't
think
know.
they were fairly even.
Yeah, I think they were fairly even. We've only
if
seen
I had
them,
to pick one, I think Armie Hammer comes out on top.
his anger gives him that.
Just
it also
because he
seems
could have killed.
like more machine like that, stronger and faster. I mean, you could see Henry Cavill obviously, playing Superman as well. You could see he was massively built, big.
But he just looks big in this. So
whereas Armie had the strength.
Armie Hammer is he's not as hench, but he's had
got
the skill
power
to do.
Yeah, and the anger, the drive, as it were.
Doesn't really get into a fist fight, does only at the beginning. But
yeah,
Henry Cavill doesn't. I'd imagine he'd go, oh, not the face. He'd shy away from a fist fight.
He would try and talk his way out of it.
Yeah,
I reckon. I like the scene as well when he's realised he's been drugged, and rather than resisting, because when people get drugged in films, they try to resist, don't they? And they fall over, they knock everything over. He just puts some pillows down on the couch and just lays down.
I really hurt my head last time.
Yeah, he says it's happened before and he hurt his head last time, so he just lays down.
He doesn't want to mess up his face by landing on it.
He just accepts it happening. Which that then leads into this torture scene.
Yeah, so Uncle Rudy's got him on the electric chair. Ilya comes in because of the trackers and blah, blah, blah. Rudy doesn't put up much of a fight because he's a fairly old man and he wouldn't stand a chance against these two. So they plug him into the electric chair. The chair's been glitching the whole time. So they leave him in the room and they go out and they have a talk about what should they do with Rudy. And Henry Cavill's like...
He breaks down straight away, doesn't he? Interrupting
I'll tell
Rudy.
you everything.
He completely breaks down. They shock him the tiniest bit and he's like, you don't need to do any more. I'll give you all the names and everything. And they're at a dilemma because Henry Cavill says if...
He doesn't want to...
He doesn't
give
want
Rudy over because they'll
make a deal and release him for information.
Yeah. And Henry Cavill's not happy with that because he's been electrocuted by him. And the Russian guy's like, oh, okay, I'll leave it up to you. You make the decision. And Henry Cavill's in and ahhing. And in the background, the electric chair's activated and it's glitched and it's suddenly caught fire and Rudy's dead.
And he burns.
He burns to death. Henry Cavill turns around and goes, shit, my coat was in there.
I know. That was lovely. That was such a good scene. Okay.
You're Rudy. What
All
do
right.
you do? So the Russian guy's about to come in behind you.
I'd have
him.
I'd have a more secure premises.
There is a guard outside, but he's very ineffective. And
well, you see him stagger,
down,
so
yeah.
I would imagine he's
been taken out stealthily and just stumbles back.
Either been
so
hit,
he's out of the picture. He's not going to help you.
No, I would have a more secure premises. I mean, I get he's probably got it as a dingy area anyway as a psychological effect. But I would have quite sturdy reinforced doors, I think.
Or at least lock them.
Because, it shows him he obviously enjoys his work,
windows
doesn't he?
on there. Why would I would have had a windowless room, because that's pretty scary, isn't it? And it's claustrophobic.
He looks like a man who enjoys his work, obviously. You could tell
Clearly.
he enjoyed it. So I think if I was him and I was torturing people and I enjoyed it that much, I would request the area to be locked down so people don't come in through the torture and interrupt. I would peace and solitude. So I'd have locked doors and everything and keep it all in. Oh, another thing, when I had been caught and put into the chair, the glitch is known to the torturer, by the way. He's aware of it. Halfway through torturing
he just
Henry
thinks
Cavill.
It cuts out though. He wasn't expecting it to overcharge and set him on fire.
Well, no, because that's something the Ilya did.
Oh yeah, he tinkers
Armie.
with it.
He
so
fixes
Uncle
it too
Rudy
well.
doesn't know that's going to happen. He
No.
just thinks he's going to be shocked for a little bit. Doesn't expect to be burst into flames. Fire extinguisher, smoke alarm. Did they have smoke alarms?
I don't know.
And sprinkler systems?
I would imagine
that's a very unsafe working environment.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I honestly don't know if they had smoke alarms then. It sounds so stupid, probably, but I've got no idea. In fact, you know what I would have done? I would have turned around, Armie would have been looking at me, I would have been like, oh, hi, Armie, what's this? Knife! I would have stabbed him in the leg, got him in nice and deep, possibly even popped off his kneecap. Armie's now on the floor, because there must be some sort of other instruments around for torture, knives
He
and
mentions
stuff, perhaps.
pliers. I don't think you could pop his kneecaps out with some pliers. And I imagine they'd be somewhere else as well. He'd have to go to his little drawer, and he'd have them labelled. He'd have like blunt instruments, cutting tools, all nicely labelled in his little torturing drawer. So yeah, he takes real pride in his work, and there's really, he wouldn't be any good in a fight between.
No, it's quite a tough one, really, isn't it?
All right, we'll move on to Alexander, who is the wife of Victoria, the bad guy. Well, not the wife, he's the husband. Victoria,
Although he is really
the bad
wife
guy.
in this.
Yeah.
She's definitely in control of this relationship.
Yeah, she wears the trousers. So he escapes with Gabby and what we think is the nuclear bomb. Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill chase after him. They manage to catch up, run him off the road. This is another example that Ilya is the muscle of the group, because
Oh, the motorbike.
Henry Cavill, he has a gun, he gets a gun out, but he's quickly disarmed and beaten up, and then he's saved by Ilya throwing the remains of his bike at Alexander. That distracts him, and then Alexander is stabbed before he can shoot.
Which
before
then
he can shoot
confuses
him.
me, because he stabs him in what appears to be his stomach. He thinks a lot of blood come out of his head and eyes.
I think that's just blood from... Because they were in a car crash, he might have just had a cut on his head.
It's delayed bleeding.
But still,
Bloody
he's
hell.
got a lot of hair. He probably
Yeah, but
just
it comes
got
out
matted.
of his eye.
It doesn't come out of his
Yes,
eye.
it does.
No, it doesn't bleed out the
Get
eye.
the scene up right now and watch it.
No, because that would be piracy. So it's I reckon it's just blood from his head and crash. So
All right.
just use the gun earlier, because basically the first hit that Alexander does knocks the gun out of Henry's hand. So pick that up immediately. Bang, bang, bang. They're all dead.
Bob's your uncle, and they're done.
Alex is your husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a new saying.
That is quite good. I would have had people with me. He's a big boss man. He's gone off on his own with his prisoner, and he's not taking any reinforcements. I would have taken
No.
reinforcements.
Mm.
Okay,
That's
I
a
would have
good
taken people
call.
with me. So after we crash, yes, some of them probably would have been hurt and killed, but
At least you've got someone else
yeah,
to
there's
deal
you got people there with you,
to
haven't
catch
you?
the motorcycle
Exactly.
that's being thrown at you.
It's a simple thing.
Or maybe
Also-
just take a faster car that you could have outrun everyone on.
Also, where Armie crashes, it's not huge miles away. I mean, he can see what's happening from where Armie's laying. He can see like Henry Cavill being disarmed and stuff. But he has to pick the bike up. He must take a few steps forward. Surely in that time, you would have seen some guy holding half a motorbike walking towards you.
Well, he probably thinks he's dead or knocked out at
I
this
suppose.
point. But
Double tap. Got hit him twice, ain't you?
Well, he's not got the gun at this point, and he's too busy focused on Henry. But yeah, just pick up the gun sooner, man. What's
Gun
wrong
sooner
with you?
and people with you. That's definitely what I would have done.
Exactly. So we come to the climax of the film, which is Victoria. She's gotten away with this.
Such an easy death to survive, by the way. I was thinking that as the scene happened.
She's got the nuclear bomb, the real one, and she's on a boat. They don't know which boat, so they get her talking, so they can track her down, so they can get a lock on her, so they can shoot her with a missile, because they're on a big airship type thing. A plane
Aircraft carrier.
Yeah. So Henry Cavill's talking to her, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I launched a rocket 45 seconds ago. It'll be with you any minute. And she just looks up. People in the background are jumping off the boat. Blows up.
Done. The rocket he launched was the one they retrieved from this crash earlier. The other missile is... Well, they're both missiles are shown, aren't they? One being worked on.
Yeah, one of them's nuclear, one's
not. The one they retrieve isn't the nuclear one. The one that...
Wouldn't want to shoot. That's overkill. Using
Yeah,
a
bloody
nuclear
hell, it
weapon
would've
to
taken
blow
them
up
out
a
as
small
well.
fishing boat. Yeah.
Because they could see the explosion from their boat, so if they had done that... quite simple. Everybody starts jumping off the boat. She just
Follow
stands
suit.
there with the phone looking as the missile comes. She doesn't even attempt to get off the boat.
Yeah, but we don't know if the people that jumped off the boat survived.
They have a better chance.
Yes.
If they jumped over...
It wouldn't
perhaps-
hurt her odds, would it?
No, not at all. Unless she couldn't swim, in which case you're screwed.
Maybe that's why she couldn't swim.
Let's
She was in
assume
a
she can
baggy
swim.
dress, so maybe that would just weigh her down.
Let's assume she can swim. I would have jumped over the edge, possibly dived down a little bit to try and avoid as much of the explosion as possible, and then come back up again. Yeah, that would leave you stranded at sea, but I don't care about that. We're surviving the explosion.
Submarine.
Yeah, where
quite
the hell's that
close.
submarine from? What's that to do with?
Whoever they're selling the missile to.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
what just came out of nowhere. I didn't know where that came from.
No, I don't know who that was either. But yeah,
that's what I would have done.
I did look up, because Henry Cavill says, "Oh, we're going to shoot you with a missile and it won't detonate the nuclear bomb." So I did some looking up, and I'm now an expert on nuclear things. He might be right or he might be wrong, is my conclusion.
Oh my lord.
Jump off the boat.
Jump off the boat. Or
fairly straightforward.
She's listening, isn't
and
she?
And pray that the nuclear bomb doesn't go off.
Yeah. She is
or
also listening.
She could have, if she known. Well, she's not really got enough time, has she?
Oh, sorry, but she's listening to the call that comes into the radio from the harbour master, that's picked up by whoever's on the ship, and she can hear Henry Cavill's character's voice on it.
Yeah, that's why she picks it up.
I would have just hanged up. Yeah, he's taunting. He's basically saying your husband's a bitch, but I think she knew that, so I would have just hanged up, or put it down, or however they disconnect.
Pull the phone out.
Those radio calls.
The sea, yeah.
Radios.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was
that's what I would have
baited
done.
into that. Yeah.
So 2 easy ways to survive that. You got anything to add on that?
No, yeah, jump off the boat or
yeah,
hang up.
Okay, you definitely, even if you can't swim, your odds are 0% staying on the boat. They're like 0.1% in the water.
And that brings us to the end of that film. I'm quite glad that we watched that. It was very refreshing after Fantastic Four.
Stop saying about Fantastic Four.
If you've seen this film and you'd like to share your views or want to tell us that we're brilliant, or that me and you, Chris, are worse than Fantastic Four 2015,
how dare you?
We would be happy to receive those. Either leave a comment below wherever you may find us, email us wecouldssurvivethat@gmail.com, or tweet us wecouldssurvive. Chris, it's time for you to talk and end the show.
Thank you, comrade. You have been listening to We Could Survive That, your weekly survival guide to the movies. We will see you next week. Until then, keep on surviving. Goodbye.